Well, welcome to another Wayno's Photos cycling video. And today we're going to be talking about shifters and the actuation system between the different brands, which are Shimano, SRAM and Campagnolo. Now, most people are familiar with Shimano because that's the most common and how they work. But how do the other brands differ? Because most people don't know or haven't experienced them. So today we're specifically going to be talking about Campagnolo and how that differs from Shimano and how those actuations work, and if that may be something you're interested in moving to these different group sets. Well, let's roll that intro and let's have a discussion on Campagnolo's actuation system. Now, Campagnolo have a one button, one actuation system, and they've separated these buttons quite independently of each other, so they're not near each other. Now, going from the right hand side to the left hand side on your handlebars, the first lever is the one that's behind the brake lever. And this works very similar to the SRAM. When you press it and keep pressing it in, it will change to an easier gear on the rear derailleur. So it feels like it's disengaging the mechanism in the shifter, and you can feel it pushing the chain across, and you can actually feel it engaging. Very similar feel to SRAM when you're pushing this lever. So unlike Shimano, this lever goes to an easier gear. With Shimano, it actually goes to a harder gear. So that's a very significant difference when you go from Shimano to Campagnolo. Now, moving to the next lever, we have the button that's sticking out facing the inside of the handlebars. Now, this button, when you press it, it actually changes to a harder gear. And you can actually press these levers multiple times to change, or you can press it with one long press, which we'll discuss a little bit later how that works, to change multiple gears. Now, moving to the shifter on the other side, we have the button that's facing the middle of the handlebars, and this button changes the front derailleur from the big ring to the little ring. It moves the derailleur inwards on the bicycle, and then to go to the bigger gear, you use the lever behind the brake lever, and this pushes the chain back onto the big ring. Well, Campagnolo offer a multi-shift system in their higher end group sets. That's chorus, record, and super record. And what that means is that if you press the levers, you can get multiple shifts. Now, understand that in the lower Campagnolo group sets and also the new 1x E-car, that it's only one press, one change, and then you need to lift off and press again. They don't have the multiple shift function. But on the road group sets, the high-end ones, the multiple shift function works by having 5 moves in one press going to a harder gear, and 4 moves with one press on the easier gear. And then when you go to the front derailleur, you have a 4-position increment. So you have a trim in the big ring, and you have a trim in the little ring. So that's how the 12-speed Campagnolo system is set up. Well, okay, now we know how the Campagnolo system works. Now, why do people choose Campagnolo, and why did I choose Campagnolo? Well, Campagnolo, I really like it because the changes are really definite when you change, when you're using this group set, especially when you're going to a harder gear, and the change is very quick. Campagnolo have quite a fast change. It's not as fast as the SRAM mechanical, but it's damn close. But unlike the SRAM mechanical, you get like a different button for a different function. So you don't get that problem with over pressing the lever when you're going to an easier gear, or you're going to a harder gear and then you end up going to an easier gear. But yeah, that's why I like the Campagnolo system. And the other thing as well is the design of the ergo shifters and the rubber they use on them is really soft. It's a really nice feel and the shape of them is really comfortable. And that's the main reason why. It's not that I think Shimano or SRAM is not as good a group set. I actually do like the SRAM systems. It's actually gives the most feel of all the mechanical group sets. But the reason why I like the Campagnolo is just the comfort of the shifters. They feel a little bit more premium, and the button systems are separate, especially when you're riding on the top of the hood, which is most of the time. That lever being there is really, really in the right spot for your thumb. It's just, your thumb's just almost just sitting on it. So that's what I really like. Now, a lot of people who know this button's sitting there on the Campagnolo go, yeah, but when you're in the drops, how do you reach the damn button? And I will agree, there's a bit of a different technique you need to use with the Campagnolo. Instead of grabbing the lever and pushing it across or pushing the brake lever across, you need to just lift your thumb up as high as you can, and then you can reach the button, you can press down. And it's actually, once you get used to it, it's actually very, very intuitive. The actual hardest thing to do is actually press the lever across and go to an easier gear when you're in the drops. Well, that's how I find it, which is the design they all have. So to me, I think the Campagnolo ergonomically is a better design. Now, I know people have their favorites when it comes to group sets and what they're used to, and that's really what drives people's opinions. To me, they all work very, very well, and what it really comes down to is the feel next to your hands, how you like the buttons to feel, how you like the feedback when you actually press the buttons. Does it feel clicky? Does it feel, can you feel that you're actually pulling a cable and you can feel when it clicks into the next gear? I actually like that. I like that mechanical feel. That's why I ride mechanical group sets. But everyone has their own choices. A lot of people swear by electrics, and that's why we're all different. Well, anyway, guys, I hope that clarifies how the Campagnolo system works, and if that's something that may interest you, or you're looking at getting into Campagnolo, or you're shifting from one of the other brands to Campagnolo, that's sort of the nuts and guts of it. You have this little button that's the main difference on the inside of the shifter. Now, if you've got any more information, if you've got any more questions about how the ergo shifters work on the new 12-speed, just put a comment down below and let me know what that question is. So hopefully I'll be able to answer that for you. Well, anyway, that's it. We're going to wrap up this video, and remember to subscribe and ring that bell if you like cycling content and you like what my content provides to you guys. So keep riding and enjoy your bikes.